Well, hi there, friends, and welcome back to Parent Story Hour. Today, Megan and I are ready to set sail as we read the childhood classic, Scuffy the Tugboat. Now, this book was written, it says in here 1955, but the research that I did, it was earlier. I think 46 is when this was originally written, so just keep that in mind as we read the story. Scuffy was sad. Scuffy sniffed his blue smokestack. A toy store is no place for a red-painted tugboat, said Scuffy. I was meant for bigger things. So here's Scuffy on the shelf with these other toys, feeling sad. Perhaps you would not be cross if you went sailing, said the man with the polka dot tie who owned the shop. One night he took Scuffy home to his little boy. He filled the bathtub with water. Sail, little tugboat, said the little boy. I won't sail in a bathtub, said Scuffy. A tub is no place for a red-painted tugboat. The next day, the man with the polka dot tie and his little boy carried Scuffy to a laughing brook that started high in the hills. Sail, little tugboat, said the man with the polka dot tie. Okay, we got to stop for a second here. So at first, we just thought that Scuffy was maybe a Doc McStuffin situation, like the toys could hear each other and communicate, but apparently the man who owns the toy store and his son can both hear this tugboat. I don't know if they hear him out loud or if they just hear his thoughts, if they're like psychic, I'm not sure. So here he is in the bathtub saying he's meant for bigger things, and then they put him in the brook to see what will happen. And everybody's happy in this picture. They're like, yeah, sail, do it, Scuffy, you got this. But it all changes here. It was spring, and the brook was full to the brim with its water. We saw this coming. And the water moved in a hurry, as all things move in a hurry when it is spring. Scuffy was in a hurry too. So Scuffy is kind of excited here in this picture, and I'm going to paraphrase some of it because it is a long book, but you can see the man in the polka dot tie, we still don't have a name for this man, and his son chasing him, but Scuffy seems pretty happy. All that day, Scuffy sailed along with the brook, past the meadows, past the women washing clothes on the bank, past little woods filled with violets. Cows came to the brook to drink. It was fun to see them drink. But when a white and brown cow almost drank Scuffy, instead of the water, Scuffy was frightened. That was not fun. Now, here he is, Scuffy, going past the cows here. And it took for a cow to try to drink him for it to not be fun. If I were this little tugboat, I don't think it would be fun to even go between these legs of this cow. That to me doesn't seem like that wouldn't be fun. You know what the undercarriage of a cow looks like? No, I don't. I've milked a cow before, but I never sailed under one. I think that would be horrifying, actually. Night came. There was nothing to see but quiet trees. Suddenly an owl called out, "Hoot, hoot!" "Toot, toot!" cried the frightened tugboat. He wished he could see the smiling face of the man with the polka dot tie, so he was getting scared. It's getting dark. The owl scared him. Owls can be scary, I guess. When morning came, Scuffy was cross instead of frightened. If I was meant for bigger things, which way am I to go? But there was only one way to go. And that was with the running water. So there goes Scuffy down this waterfall here. And he's still saying he was meant for bigger things. Gotta give him credit. He's been through a lot. He was proud when he sailed past the villages. People built villages at the edge of my river, said Scuffy, and he straightened his blue smokestack. Once Scuffy's river joined a small one jammed with logs. Here were men in heavy jackets and great boots walking around the floating logs. Toot, toot, let me through, demanded Scuffy, but the men paid no attention. Ouch, he cried as two logs bumped together. So he was proud that he made it to the village, but then he got a little bit distressed when he's with these loggers here in the river. He got a little nervous. This is a fine river, said Scuffy, but it's very busy and big for me. He was proud when he sailed under the bridges. My river is so wide and deep that people must build bridges to cross it. The river moved through big towns now instead of villages, and bridges over where it was very, very wide, enough so that many cars and trucks could cross at once. So he's gotten pretty far. How far he's gotten from the little brook in the backyard. The river got deeper and deeper. The river moved faster and faster. I feel like a train instead of a tugboat. He was proud when he passed the old sawmill with its water wheel. But the snow melted. Water filled the brooks. Faster and faster it flowed. There's too much water in this river. Soon it will splash over the top, and what a flood it will be. Armies of men came to save the town. So there's a flood. Okay, this is what's happening. He was proud when he was going past this town and down the river, but now he's stuck in this scary flood, and he doesn't feel so good. They filled bags with sand and put them at the edge of the river. They're making higher banks for the river to hold the water back. At last, the water rose no more. The people and the fields and the towns were safe. So here's a crew building a wall. He's scared. The waves are big, but he's still not giving up. On went the river to the sea. At last, Scuffy sailed into the big city. Oh, it was a busy and noisy place. Horses stamped and truck motors roared. Toot, toot, said Scuffy, but nobody noticed. So he made it all the way out here. And there's little Scuffy. And he made it that far. I mean, you got to give him credit. He's just a little toy, honestly. Oh, cried Scuffy when he saw the sea. There is no beginning and there is no end. I wish I could find the man with the polka dot tie and his little boy. Still no name. We still don't know their names. This toy talks to people, but he didn't ask his name. Okay. Just as the little red painted tugboat sailed past the last piece of land, there was the man with the polka dot tie and his little boy beside him. Lucky break for him. So he's about to drift off to sea, as you see him there, and he changed his mind. Scuffy is home now with the man with the polka dot tie, and the little boy still didn't ask his name even after he rescued him. He sails from one end of the bathtub to the other. This is the place for a red painted tugboat, says Scuffy, and this is the life for me. So what we learn in this book, and there he is being rescued, is that Scuffy followed his dreams and then he gave up. And I did a little bit of research on Scuffy, and apparently people have written papers about this and articles about how Scuffy is a more realistic representation than some of our fairy tales that we have, and that sometimes in the end, when you go to follow your dreams, it just doesn't work out. So Scuffy is kind of like a hard knock tale for kids. Like, kids, follow your dreams, but might not happen. Just saying. Scuffy just went back to his bathtub. That was the moral of this story. When things get tough, go take a bath, I guess. So I've written a couple quotes for us today so that we can properly reword these so they fit into Scuffy's tale. So I have, if you can dream it, you probably can't do it in the end. Seems appropriate. Where there is a will, that's really nice, but you should probably just stay in your bathtub. And my personal favorite, aim for the moon. If you miss, you may hit a log, almost drown, and cry to go home. So there's the life lessons today. When the going gets tough, give up. I think that that's what they're trying to tell us with Scuffy the tugboat. So I hope you've enjoyed Scuffy. We'll see you again tomorrow for Parent Story Hour. I hope everyone is staying healthy and sane.